Welcome to the Statesboro Herald's 2014 Pigskin Pick'em, brought to you by Seasons of Japan Restaurant and Dr. Troy M. Lawhorn at Statesboro Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery and Dental Implant Center.
And welcome to Week 12 of Pigskin Pick'em. I'm your host, Josh Aubrey, being joined as always by the Statesboro Herald's Matt Yogas, Mike Anthony, and Eddie Ledbetter. Let's take a quick look at our standings. We have Josh at 51 and 37, gaining a little bit of ground. Yoga's pulling above 500, 46-42. Mike's at 55 and 33, and Eddie Ledbetter running away with this one, 58 and 30. We're going to have to gain some ground. We only have 3 weeks left here to do that. For college games, unfortunately, none of our Bullitt County teams are playing high school football, so we had to kind of throw some people out there that people are familiar with. We'll get to that in a moment. Let's begin with the Georgia Southern Eagles. Matt Yoga struggled a little bit on the road in San Marcos against Texas State. They did win the game, still have a chance of going undefeated and winning the Sun Belt in their first ever year. This week, though, they're underdogs for only the 3rd time this season. 3-point underdogs on the road at Navy. They've played before. It was a close game, not a lot of points scored. Your thoughts on this week's game?
I'm going to try an experiment because I think it's very likely Georgia Southern's going to lose this game. But I'm going to pick them to cover the 3, and I guarantee you nobody says anything on my Twitter account about it because there's a Georgia Southern logo by my name.
All right, Mike Anthony.
That's working with a small window there, getting inside the 3-point spread. The way I see it is, you mentioned it, a very close game last time they played, totally different players, but this is a better Georgia Southern team than 2010. This is a worse Navy team than 2010. I think the Eagles find a way to get it done. A couple of big plays that weren't there the first time around lets them run away with it. They win it outright.
All right, Eddie.
I'll go with the Eagles to win.
All right, got to gain some ground here. So unfortunately, I'm going to go against Georgia Southern. I think that they've been struggling to throw the ball. They're going to have to try to do that in order to beat Navy. And I think Navy finds a way to cover the 3. But guess what? The Sun Belt Championship's still up there for the Eagles. So I'm going Navy.
J.Aubrey at StatesboroHerald.com.
And then we've got everybody else going with Georgia Southern. All right. Speaking of the Sun Belt, Louisiana Lafayette, Louisiana Monroe, been kind of going in different directions so far. Louisiana Lafayette is the team besides Georgia Southern that's undefeated in the Sun Belt. They're only a 7-point favorite against Louisiana Monroe. I guess that's maybe because this is a rival game. Your thoughts on this one?
Monroe beat them last year at Lafayette, so that probably has something to do with it. But they're on like a 5-game losing streak right now, capped off with a loss to Appalachian State, who we all saw isn't that great of a football team. But because Georgia Southern they clinch a championship, as a matter of fact, if Monroe beats Lafayette, at least a share of it. So I'm going to go with Monroe because Georgia Southern needs it.
Mike.
I'm totally with Yogas. I'm pulling for Monroe against Lafayette. I think Lafayette's been on a roll, but they've shown how shaky they can look at times. No matter how many points they put up, it's never going to change the fact that they probably should have lost the game to Georgia State. So they have the ability to put up a stinker like that. Monroe, they've shown the ability to hang tough against teams far better than Lafayette. It's a rivalry game. Those are always close. I think Lafayette finds a way to win it, but not by much. I'll go with Monroe.
All right, Eddie.
They covered a 3-point spread.
I will take Lafayette in this game.
All right. Well, I was wondering what you were going to do because I was leaning towards Monroe because of the fact that this game looks a little smelly to me. I was thinking that Lafayette would be a double-digit favorite, but because it's 7, it kind of worried me. But I'm taking Monroe, so we got Eddie, the only one going with the favorites here, and the rest of us are going with Monroe to at least cover the 7 points. All right, moving ahead. The Georgia Bulldogs, they finally get their running back in the mix of things. Gurley comes back against Auburn. Auburn stubbed their toe last week, probably fell out of the national championship because of that. Do they have a hangover or do they rebound? Usually in this game, it's been the road team that has played better. Right now, we've had Georgia giving 2.5 to Auburn.
No chance there's a hangover in this. When Gurley's back, everybody's excited to have him back on the field. You know the O-line's going to play a little bit better just because they know they got the best player in the country behind him, which means Georgia almost wins the game. I'm going with Auburn.
All right. Once again, he's keeping his streak alive. Mike, your thoughts?
It's an impressive streak. You jumped some hurdles in order to keep on picking against him.
I could beat Eddie right now.
And he's lost some games that
right.
way, too.
If I could manage to pick Georgia over Troy, I'd be doing all right.
I think that Auburn was exposed last week. Got a case of fumbleitis there. That really caused some Their defense, not very good. They couldn't do anything to stop Texas A&M. I don't think they'll be able to do anything to stop Gurley. I think this is a runaway win for Georgia. Gurley spent the entire fourth quarter just signing autographs on the sideline.
Oh, good one there. How about you, Eddie?
Got to take Georgia in this one also.
All right. Well, I guess I'm going to have to be the odd man out once again. Taking Auburn to rebound. I think that they're a lot better than that game they played. I think they rebound and cover. I'm taking Auburn. And you guys
I'm an odd man, too.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's true. You're odd. You're going to be odd with me.
No.
There's all the wrong letters and all the wrong
Doggone it. We got Yogus.
Yogus has Auburn.
And then the rest of
Mike
you.
and I have Georgia. Yes.
All right. How about that?
You can't write UGA by the way.
I know. Whenever I get ready to put Yogus for UGA, I got to stop.
You got all flustered. It's all right.
All right. We got Georgia Tech. The Yellow Jackets have been on fire. They got Clemson when they're a 3-point underdog. Your thoughts on this one, Matt Yogus?
Interesting game. Clemson seems like every year they get a little bit better about defending Georgia Tech's offense. Just been a while since Georgia Tech's beat Clemson, isn't that right? So it's a big game. It's a rivalry game. It's a fun one. I like Georgia Tech in this game. Clemson's got some injury problems. I'll take that.
All right, Mike.
This game doesn't get all the talk of some rivalries out there, but this is, for the money, probably one of the most exciting games out there. It always seems to come down to a touchdown. It doesn't matter if one team's much better than the other. Always seems to be close in the final minutes. A lot of dramatic plays in the final minutes. I think what gets it done for Georgia Tech is their defense. Their offense has been putting up points throughout the season, but the last couple of games it's been turnovers and defensive scores that have done it. They get one more big turnover, and they win this one and cover.
All right, Eddie.
I will take the Clemson Tigers in this game.
All right, so recap it. We have Matt Yogus taking
Tech.
GT. Mike is taking.
Also Tech.
Eddie's taking.
The other guys.
The other guys.
The fighting Jim Healy's.
And I'm going to go with Tech as well. I think they're able to keep it rolling against Clemson. That'll wrap up our college picks. Let's get into the high school. Here's some of the teams. Screven County quietly undefeated on the year. We have
9-1. They're 9-1.
Oh, I'm sorry. 9-1 on the year.
A little
Still,
too quiet.
a great season nonetheless. They're going to be hosting Monticello. We're going to start with Mike because he kind of set the lines here. Mike, your thoughts on this game?
What won't be quiet is Kelly Memorial Stadium because they will pack them in for Screven County, hosting their third playoff game in the last 3 seasons, their second region championship in the last 3 seasons. This is a very good team. They get it done through the air. They get it done on the ground. Monticello, not one of the stronger regions around. I think Screven County got a pretty good draw. The way the brackets have come out, I can easily see them getting maybe to the quarterfinals before they're even tested. I think they run away with this one. 2, 3, 4 different Gamecocks are going to score in this one. I see Screven County covering the 14 by halftime and running away in the second half.
All right. Mike.
Fighting Burton Kemps, I'll take them.
All right, Eddie.
Well, I know where Screven County is, and I don't know where Monticello is, so I'm going to pick Screven County.
Monticello
This
is way
is not the home of Thomas Jefferson, Monticello.
way
Virginia.
down in southwest Georgia, isn't it?
I believe it's in the middle of the state.
Yeah, it's
All right, well, there you go.
We'll ask them when they
It's
get
either in
there.
the middle of the state or down south. I'm going to go with Screven as well. So everybody going with the favorite in this one. Next up, we got another team a lot of people are familiar with. That will be the #1 team in 5A, Ware County. And we got them up there in green. How about, I like our color coordination up there.
I try.
Let's make this quick. We know what's happening.
Ware County, 18-point favorites against Stars Mills. We can even start with Matt on this one, I think.
It's backwards. Where by 81?
All right, Mike.
Well, same as the Statesboro game. Ware County, I don't think they're going to put up 50 or 60 points, but they will shut down just about any team they come across. I think it's going to be all Stars Mill can do to even get on the scoreboard. Ware County covers it.
All right, Eddie.
Ware County is the home of my sister Belinda and her husband Danny, so I'm going with Ware County.
All right.
Reason only.
Everybody,
Shout out.
everybody,
Hashtag O'Connell.
everybody's going with Ware in this one. And next up, Burke County played Statesboro early in the year. That seems like a lifetime ago at Womack Field. Struggled a little bit during the season, lost a couple of games, but this week they've got Locust Grove. They're a 3-point underdog for Burke. Your thoughts on this one, Mike?
Well, our last 2 games here, Burke County, Wayne County, both of them in the same region. Both of them with middling records, taking on teams with better records who are having to come on the road. So I think you're going to see Burke County probably face the toughest test they've had since they played Wayne County. I don't think this is quite the Bears squad that we've seen in the last couple of seasons. Not as explosive. They have the home game. It's going to be rowdy in Waynesboro, but I don't think that's enough to get it done. I see them dropping this one, and they don't cover.
Yogus.
Locust Grove gets biblical.
Ah, there you go. Eddie.
I'll take Burke County on this one, just to make things interesting.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Burke as well. I think things do get pretty loud over there in Waynesboro, so I'm taking the Bears. Let's just put Burke
Why
County.
is Burke County not the Bird Dogs?
Yeah.
Great name.
Yogus,
Question for the ages.
you're going with Locust Grove.
You got it.
Mike's going
with
with
Locust
Locust Grove, and
Burn the
Eddie's
flag.
going with Burke County. Wrapping things up, Wayne County. We saw them play Statesboro earlier in the year. They gave up a few points. It was their first game with their new quarterback who transferred over there. They've been doing a little bit better there towards the end of the season. Mike, your thoughts on this one? You have them as an 8-point underdog to Eagles Landing.
The same situation as Burke County. This is an 8-2 Eagles Landing team. Very good, very solid. They've been good for a few years now. Wayne County, kind of like SEB this season, almost all their wins coming inside their region. They went undefeated. That's why they have a 1 seed despite a 5-5 record. I don't think they quite have the firepower to hang with Eagles Landing. However, I think they keep it close. They cover the points, but they lose the game.
All right, and Matt Yogus, your thoughts?
The opposite of what he said. I'll take the other team.
Who's the other team?
Wayne County is for you.
So you're taking Eagles Landing.
Actually, no, I've got Wayne County.
You got
He's
Wayne County
Burrell.
Eagles. All right, come on now. We got to get those teams
That's
out
what
there.
happens when we venture
Eagles
outside the
Landing
county.
or Wayne County?
Wayne County, I'll go there.
All right, you got that, and so did Mr. Jeff,
Jeff Harrison.
our old compadre, Jeff Harrison, with his Wayne County Yellow Jackets. I'm going to go with Wayne County as well to find a way to win this one. So is Mike, Anthony?
Yogus is our lone dissenter.
All right, so Eagles Landing for Yogus
There you go.
and
That's how you
everybody
get back
else
it, or lose.
with Wayne County going for the Yellow Jackets in this one. Well, that'll wrap things up. For Matt Yogus, Mike Anthony, and Eddie Ledbetter, I'm Josh Aubrey. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you again next week.